Hi, this is Mom. It's family night, so we're making homemade pizza. Okay, so for the pizza dough, we have 9 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons salt, 2 tablespoons dry yeast, and 3 cups of hot water, which probably we'll find out we'll need a little more than that. That's the basic recipe. It's pretty simple. Okay, so we start by measuring the flour. 9 cups. Alright, so now we add just the dry yeast straight into the dry flour. 2 tablespoons. And 2 tablespoons of salt. Again, I use a little scant on the salt. There we go. Now we just have dry ingredients here. Flour, yeast, salt. I'm going to mix it just slightly together. And then I turn the water on over here and get it just as hot as it comes out of the faucet. And it calls for 3 cups. Often I've found that it takes a little more than that, but I'll start with that. So I put on the first rim of the lid so that it doesn't splash out of there. Then measure the 3 cups of hot butter. All right. And we'll turn this on. Add the water. Okay, that's a little too dry. I'm going to add some more. I'm going to go by how it looks now. I want it to clear off the sides but not be too sticky. That looks pretty good. Okay, so the dough is kind of sticky, but I'm going to let it go about 5 minutes kneading like this and see if it gathers into a ball better. If not, then I'll add a little bit of flour at that time. So about 5 minutes for now, and then another 5 to equal 10 minutes of kneading time. Okay, so it's gone about 5 minutes and I can see it's still pretty sticky along the edges. So I'm going to add a little more flour and let it go another 5 minutes. Okay, so that's 10 minutes. And it looks like a great dough. It's clearing off the sides, but still sticky, slightly sticky, so it's a good dough. So now I'm just going to clean off the dough hook there. And we're going to let it sit just a few minutes here in the bowl while we get our ingredients cut up. It can sit for 5 minutes to 60 minutes, depending on your time frame, and the dough will work out just fine either way. So now we'll just cover it with a towel and let it sit there for a few minutes. Okay, so while the dough is sitting there, I'm just going to cut a few topping ingredients. We like pepperoni pizza, we like bacon, veggie, and Hawaiian. So I just get all my ingredients ready, and then in a few minutes we'll pat the dough out and put our toppings on. Okay, so now we're ready to shape our dough. Alright, we have our pans prepared here and all of our toppings. So I'm just going to take this dough and divide it into 4 pieces and put it on the pans. Okay, so now we're going to spray the pans. You can either use a cooking spray like this, or you can use cornmeal, which might be a better option, a little bit more natural option, but this is just what I had handy here. So now I'm just rolling the dough out into a round shape. Of course, the thicker the dough you have, the thicker your pizza is. Some of us like thick crust and some like thin, so I'm just doing a little bit of both. This one looks like it's going to be on the thinner side. Okay, so as you can see, I've prepared my other pans, and the dough is resting and waiting for the topping ingredients. Here's our thicker dough. It's not quite as thick as it could be, but Anyway, the next thing we do is the sauce. All right, so now I just spread pasta sauce. You can use whatever pizza sauce you like. Spread that over the crust like this. And then the next ingredient is shredded mozzarella cheese. It tastes better if you get the sauce right up to the edge so you have flavor all the way to the edge. Then we put on the cheese. So the battery died, but while you were getting charged up, we put the cheese on, and now we're going to do toppings. This one is a bacon pizza, and I use the pre-cooked bacon. It doesn't get as greasy, but it still kind of needs to cook a little more. But that's a really quick topping, and just about as easy as the pepperoni. So spread that on. And then we're going to make pepperoni. Okay, we're just finishing topping now. I'm making the Hawaiian pizza, which is just ham and pineapple. And the other half is just a veggie pizza. Tonight we're doing red and green peppers and onions. So I usually just put a tiny bit of cheese on the top at the end. It's sort of like the glue that holds it all together. So now we're ready to put the pizza in. The oven is set to 450 degrees, and I'm baking 2 at a time. So we have on 2 layers, and I bake pizza for 15 minutes, but at 7.5 minutes or 8 minutes, I switch them top to bottom so they can get an even browning on the crust. Okay, so now we're ready to pull the pizzas out, and here they all are. Ready for supper time.